there, friends. Welcome to Queer Kid Stuff. I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Teddy.
Today, we're talking to the grown-ups about parenting and gender.
Gender! I love talking about gender.
Queer Kid Stuff. You are enough here at Queer Kid Stuff.
Ready, Teddy?
Ready, Lindsay.
Okay. Today, we're talking to the grown-ups about parenting and gender. There are lots of different ways to think about parenting and gender, but before we get into it, I have to make a confession.
What is it, Lindsay?
I'm not a parenting expert.
What?
I don't have kids, and it's not my specialty. So, I thought for this episode, we would talk to parents about how they approach gender and parenting with their kids.
Yeah. That sounds good, Lindsay.
My name is Max, and I am the proud parent of Josephine, who is 4 years old now. I am identifying as transgender, non-binary. I'm the one who carried Josephine, and when I was pregnant, I was already using neutral terms about the baby we were going to have. I didn't know the gender of the baby we're going to have. A lot of people asked me which gender was our baby, and I was like, I don't know, and I'm going to wait until they're born. That's what we did when discovered they were assigned female at birth. When I started talking more with my baby, I was always using gender neutral terms, like this person over there, or this kid, or this person with the red sweater. And I was always trying to get that feeling of not trying to guess anyone's gender, which is interesting because at the time I was still perceived as a woman. I was not out yet as a transgender person. I didn't discover that about myself yet. When Josephine was 2 years old, I asked them if they were feeling like a boy or a girl, and they looked at me and said, well, I feel like a kid. And I was like, okay, my job is done here. That's exactly what I wanted to understand. And I was like, why did I ask this question? This question was already biased. This is where I understood the power of the vocabulary, the language we use, especially with kids. Now, Josephine uses most of the time kids, person, adults, and that's for me a way for them to explore gender at their own pace and without the need to be put in a box of a gender that they were assigned at birth.
Hi, I'm Jess. I have 3 kids, all of whom were assigned male at birth. When I first became a parent, I was an Orthodox Jew, so my gender views were pretty much that girls do certain things, boys do certain things. As I became less religious, I started researching gender more, and as I found out new information, I would pass that information along to my kids. We'd get books from the library that had trans children in them. We started watching Queer Kid Stuff videos, and it came to a point about 2 years ago where I realized that I was non-binary. And it took me about a year to work up the courage to actually come out. And when I did come out, my middle child, who was 6 years old at the time, also came out as non-binary. And it was pretty cool to be able to share that with them. And it was almost like a non-issue for my kids at all because they had already learned so much about gender that it was almost as if I didn't need to come out to them. So my parenting in regards to gender has pretty much flipped.
So for us, my partner and I, we decided not to know the assigned sex because we didn't want, even though we're both pretty thoughtful about gender, we knew that on some level, if we knew what the assigned sex was, we would think in the back of our minds about what the baby would be. So, we did make the choice, and some of my friends have made the choice to raise their kids gender neutral until they're able to say what gender they are, which I think is kind of cool. Really cool, actually. We made the choice to use female pronouns for our daughter, who is assigned female at birth. We have a non-binary person in our household. We have a lot of queer trans friends. I really sincerely hope that my child will feel comfortable letting us know if that's not if that's not right. I think it's also about having conversations about gender, about identity, about us and how we identify as queer people and what that word means and how it means different things for one parent versus the other, and for people in general that actually sort of like move us forward in terms of how we treat kids in talking about gender and educating about gender and really opening that door for them to be creative. So we give Remy lots of different kinds of toys to play with. Everything from like a princess castle to like a race car and then like everything in between, like cars and trucks and books and horses and Care Bears and little people and, you know, forest animals and lots of dinosaurs and just like lots of different stuff. We don't have any dolls. Not by design, we just like don't have any around the house. It's not something that I had a lot of interest in as a kid, so I don't have a lot of them, and Waffle didn't either, so we just don't have dolls. I will admit that the first time I saw Remy playing with dolls at someone else's house, I was like a little taken aback by it because I just didn't know where it came from. Like that she was like holding it down, like rocking it, and our friend who was babysitting her was like, oh, you know, give the baby a kiss, and she gave it a kiss, and she was putting it to bed and feeding it, and I've seen her do that with other dolls since then. And my immediate reaction was like, oh no, like where did she learn that really sort of gendered, feminine play? And then, you know, a friend of mine who's queer and trans, like, helped me step back and think about, like, why is it bad that my child, regardless of gender, is nurturing? And isn't that, like, messed up? That I should have to worry that my kid learning to be, like, kind and nurturing and caring is going to hurt her or harm her in some way in the future. Like, that really stinks. That really kind of stinks. And it helped me appreciate it. Like, appreciate the ways that doing that kind of play that we stereotype as feminine doesn't have to be heteronormative in a household where we talk about all these things openly.
There are so many ways to think about parenting and gender.
I'm so glad we got to hear a bunch of different perspectives on this. Thank you so much to our guests for contributing to this episode. We'll be back in January for season 4 of Queer Kid Stuff. In the meantime, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the Facebook page. If you like what we do, you can make a one-time donation on PayPal or become a monthly patron like our pals over there. We'll see you next time. Queer Kid Stuff.